Well, Daniel Penny has been found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide in the 2023 chokehold death of Jordan Neely on a New York City subway car. Penny also faced a second-degree manslaughter charge, but the judge dismissed it Friday after jurors said they could not come to a verdict on that count. Joining us now to break down this trial is Gloria Browne-Marshall, professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Good morning. Good to have you with us.
Good morning.
So what was your reaction to the verdict? You surprised at all, or did you expect these results based on what you were seeing and hearing the last few days of deliberations?
This country still surprises me. I think that when we see a person who did not harm anyone, did not touch anyone, and did not at any point that I could see harm Mr. Penny to be murdered or have his life taken in full view of everyone, and then have not even an accidental death be charged against him. Because when the manslaughter charge was dismissed, we did have the criminally negligent homicide, which meant that the life was taken by accident because the person was negligent, and even that case was not sustained. So I was surprised that the jury could not find that a life was taken, and the person who took it should have some responsibility. If
you could put yourself kind of in the room with the deliberations with what was going on, what do you think was being said? I mean, the fact that it did take 4 days here, you had the manslaughter charge dropped on Friday when they couldn't come to an agreement, and then do you think it got to the point where they said, okay, well, we're not going to be able to basically convict at this point? Do they just walk away from it?
I think, having been on a jury, I think people try to put themselves in the place of those who were on the subway train. Did they want someone to come to their rescue? Would they have felt fear? Would they have believed that at some point that Jordan Neely was going to harm them, and therefore they needed to be rescued? And so therefore Daniel Penny's actions were reasonable at the time. I think that's what the jurors might have done.
And do you think that plays into it? Because there are so many stories of these types of things happening on the subway, not a chokehold death or anything like that, but you've got a mental health crisis that is below ground. You've got people that do feel threatened constantly on subways. We do stories, of course, of people being pushed onto the tracks and whatnot. Is it almost one of those things where if you're a juror and you ride the subway every day, you almost put yourself in that position of like, well, I've seen this type of thing happen before, and thank heaven someone did step in. Maybe not to this degree, but I can see why this action was taken.
Well, there are a lot of things in play. One, I was hoping that our people in the mental health areas could step up and talk about post-pandemic trauma, because I think this is where it comes from. We had a lot of post-pandemic trauma. No one's really talking about that. And of course, those people who are already on the mentally challenged edge would then be pushed over the edge based on the 2.5 years in which this world thought it was coming to an end. Secondly, I think about this in combination, if you want to look at it this way, with what just happened with the United Healthcare death. We have this view of someone being murdered or the death of someone by strangulation on a train and full witnesses, and it's almost like a snuff film. So sometimes people become numb to the fact that you have a life being taken. I mean, when we think about that, we see again and again, whether that is Eric Garner, whether it's Tamir Rice, all these people dying. I hope journalists will stop showing the deaths of Black people. And if you're going to show the deaths of Black people, show the deaths of white people as well, because it can numb a jury pool as to a life being taken when it's a Black life. And I think that was something that was not taken into consideration.
How much do you feel race did play a part of this? With the jury pool, you had 12 jurors, all white, 7 women, 5 male.
I think race plays a part in most of what happens in this country, and we don't really talk about it. And unfortunately, I mean, if we think about with United Healthcare, we saw someone. There's a video of it, be shot down, but we didn't see the body on the street. We didn't see, the legs sticking out from the sheet. We didn't see any of that because his death was respected. Once again, I hope journalists will stop showing the deaths of Black and brown people and give them the same dignity that they would give to the CEO of a corporation, and give that respect. But also, I think race plays a part in it, because people are thinking, I'm trapped in a subway, even if they don't take the subway. And what would I do with this man threatening me like this Black man threatening threatening me in this way. For the rest of us who take the subway, we know this could be the occurrence once a week, once a day, who knows, it's part of life in New York City. So race plays a part of it in many ways. And I think the power of a white jury to condemn a Black person to death without any type of criminal liability in the end shows us that white lives are put on a higher level, Black lives not so much. And in Jordan Neely's case, someone said it was a lynching. We've got to really start thinking about in this country what constitutes a lynching.
And Gloria, before I let you go, I've got 15 seconds with you. The civil trial, will Mr. Neely, in his estimation, do you think he'll be able to get quote unquote justice in the civil case?
I think Mr. Neely is probably going to get his only justice in a civil case.
All right. Gloria Browne-Marshall, thank you. We appreciate your time.